Hello everyone, this is Sandra at the Whispering Well. So today I'm going to be doing a VR to the lovely Candy at Candy Soul and Soil, and it's for her hashtag Wheel of the Year Tarot Letha edition, and there are 6 questions with a 7th bonus one that you can choose to do or not as suits you. I will be doing that one as well though. So the first question is keywords of Letha. Choose a word or words for you that sums up Letha. Which tarot deck matches it? So for me, keywords would be sunshine, union of the god and goddess, and abundance, abundance in nature. All the trees are in full leaf, all the different plants and flowers. So the deck that I've chosen that matches that for me is the Green Witch Tarot. So I'll just show you a few of the cards as well. So look, a lot of these cards just scream summer, don't they? Which is Letha time. The Lady and the Lord, of course. So again, we think of the union of the god and goddess. You see here, they're holding hands. Here we have the Earth Mother, which would be the Empress. She is pregnant. We have a wheat field behind her, lots of fruit and flowers, and with her being pregnant again reminds me of the union of the god and goddess, because at this time of year the goddess is with child. So there's that. So these are just like sunny, bright, happy cards for the most part. We've got somebody doing some spells here, kind of makes you think of the solstice and ritual, and we've got like a lovely crow there. Love this card. I love the Green Man anyway, and the Green Man reminds me of summer. I know, you know, very often he can be associated with spring, so the coming of the Green Man in spring, the coming of the leaves and things, but he also, when he's in full leaf like this, he reminds me of summer. And we have to think that there's different faces of the Green Man. You know, he looks different in the spring to the summer, and then he'll look different in the autumn time with more of the red and gold coloured leaves. I love that this is called the Battle Wagon. It just reminds me of anything Celtic, you know. You just think of, I don't know, Boudica and things like that. Yeah, so I really like this deck. I like working with it at this time of year, although I'd work with it at any time of year, but it just seems to be more of a summertime deck. Look at this world tree, and you see like standing stones. Letha to me in summertime, I just think of standing stones, of visiting these places, the different places in the UK where we have standing stones. And look at this, the cute little mouse and flowers, and more like abundance here, and you know, stopping for a break. So yeah, so that is my first deck choice for the keywords. Love this one as well. Again, standing stone with the light filtering through the trees and harm none, as well as like the labyrinth there too. I'm obviously going to have problems with the light today, but I'm sorry guys, I can't. I've tried different things, and it's not really helping. It's still a bit glary, but and of course we have the horned god here, and all the animals love this card. It's probably my favourite card in the deck, along with the Green Man card. So that's my first choice for the first question. Number 2 is colours of Letha. What colour sums up Letha for you, and which deck best matches it? So for me, the colours of Letha for me are yellow and orange. Bright colours, possibly even red, but yellow and orange for definite with Letha. And the deck that best matches that for me is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. There's some lovely yellow and orange and flame colours in this deck. So we'll just see a few of these cards. So this is another deck that I really like. I love the colours in it. It's bright and cheery, and I absolutely love this Empress card. The reds and golds in her dress and how it's matching the cornfield around. And look at this lovely sunflower. This just, for me, screams Letha, this card. Just does, to me anyway. And I couldn't not show the Magician, simply because he's like, ooh, rather nice. Oh dear. Moving on, the Hierophant. And so we've got all this lovely greenery around him, which is another colour that could be associated with Letha if you so chose. But again, look, these really fiery cards. And Strength. It's really lovely the way she's like sitting on the bear and he's just letting her, and it's none of that pulling the mouth open thing that we often see in the Strength card. But this obviously I've mainly chosen for the colours for this particular question. I mean, look at the bright yellows, oranges. I mean, look at this one. I mean, how lovely is that? Again, screams Letha, doesn't it? And this Queen of Wands in her oranges and golds and reds, and the lovely cat on her lap. We have some golds and yellows here as well as green. So this is the Wheels suit, which would be our Pentacles. The Sun card, of course, lovely and bright, and sunflowery type flowers. They might not actually be sunflowers, but something similar if they're not. Look at the Ace of Wands of Phoenix. Why am I saying phoenix? Is it a phoenix? Looks more like a rooster, actually. I'm saying phoenix because all I'm seeing is this and, oh, flames. But no, I think it's probably meant to be like we would call it a cockerel. I think in the US you say rooster. So, and look at the Devil. It's fiery too, isn't it? The colours in this. Look, even this lovely pinks. But I love the oranges and yellows in this deck. So this will be my choice for colours of Letha, and that is the Golden Tarot of the Golden Wheel. So on to our third question, which is nature at Letha, and that is, what in nature do you think of at Letha? Now, I think of like trees in full leaf, as I've said, flowers in full bloom, woodlands, sort of shady, but you know when you walk through the woodland and there's that light coming through the trees and you get this dappled effect. So I think of that at Letha. Trees, I love trees, are my favourites anyway. Flowers everywhere, and woodlands. I love woodlands at this time of year. So the deck I've chosen, and I don't have the box handy, sorry guys, because I keep it in this lovely Kelly pouch here, is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. These are the backs. I'm sure you've all seen this deck before. So it's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, which is available via Amazon. I edged this in green myself to kind of match the backs. So here's some of the cards. So again, you know, trees, leaves, and I love this Lover's card. Look at the way he's just laying there with his head in her lap. I love that. And you know, nature, being out in nature, maybe doing ritual out in the woods, or some kind of spell work. This kind of reminds you of that. And again, the wise woman, all these lovely berries and leaves out around her. This deck is very green, and I love the fresh green in nature when everything's out in full leaf. And you know, the wise woman, she's doing something here, casting. And isn't it great to be able to go somewhere, the woods or wherever, or a quiet place, and maybe take a tarot deck, or take some runes with you, or oghams, or some kind of casting set. Wouldn't that be great? It's such a cool thing to do. Look at this. I've chosen this card for the Kingfisher and the lovely like lilies in the background. And you know, we have our frog here. It could be a toad with a ring. But it's just, you know, everything's in leaf in this card. And this is what I mean. Look at this. This is one of my favourite cards in the deck. Is Sunlights. This would be our sun card. And you see how the rays are coming through the trees. And we've got Pan here playing his pipes. And can you imagine just walking through the woods and hearing a pipe tune, and coming across Pan just sitting there on a tree stump just playing his pipes. I know I'm going into fantasy realms, guys, but that's the sort of thing I kind of think about, is things like that. Can you imagine how cool that would be? And again, the Forest Lord here, and as most of you know, the god that I work with is Cernunnos, so any kind of horned gods like this I love. We've got a lovely dragon, and look at this lovely tree. I know the ones around it are bare, but look at this one in full leaf, full flower and fruit, and the grass around the bottom. And just reminds me of summertime in the woods. I mean, these cards are not overly bright, but then if you were in the middle of the woods, even in summer, it can be quite shady and quite dark in some areas, depending on the thickness of the trees, how they've been planted, and also the leaf growth, so the leaf cover you're going to get. So it makes it can make it quite dull inside the forest. Again, love this Strength card. How she's sitting there with some flowers, and he's like there. It's like he would guard her from anything coming into the woods. But he's like her friend, isn't he, more? But, you know, there's some images of animals. I love this Wheel of Fortune card. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is not a card that I particularly like, really, in decks, but this one I love. And it's, you know, it's actually made out of plant life, twigs, branches, flowers, and we've got 3 magpies there too. And can you imagine, again, if you went into the woods and came across a tree with little doors in it? I used to so want that to happen when I was younger. I wanted to find a little door in a tree, or find fairies at the bottom of the garden. Oh dear. The Council of Animals. which I love. Again, look at this. For some reason this almost, it's not, but it almost reminds me of being at the top of the Tor in Glastonbury and walking back down. I know it's not because it's walking out of a woodland, but I don't know why it does that to me, but for some strange reason. Maybe it's just because when you're high up and it on the Tor and you can see all of the fields and things around. But yeah, so this deck is my choice for, look at this, Green Mother. My choice for, this would be me when I was younger. This is my choice for Nature at Letha, the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. Okay, so number 4 on our list is Animals at Letha. Animal correspondences for Letha include bees, butterflies, dragonflies, and which tarot deck sums up animals and Letha for you? Right, now I don't actually have one with, or I don't think I do, with like butterflies and dragonflies and things in it, but I do have an actual animal deck that I do really love. So this is going to be my choice for Animals at Letha, and that is Tarot Fauna. I love this deck. So there's lots and lots of animals in this deck. So that's why I've chosen this, because there's lots of animals and they look really cute. I mean, I've got lots of well, not lots, but I've got a fair few animal decks. My recent one was the Animal Arc, but as I've recently shown that, I decided to choose this one because I've had this for quite some time, this deck, and I love the otters in it. I mean, look at this lovely owl, you know, the foxes, and the yellow colour in this again makes me think Letha. And here's a butterfly with a lovely bear, and we've got all that greenery around. So again, Letha. High Priestess. So this is a darker card. We've got this lovely raven here. So again, this is all kind of makes you think of summer, doesn't it? Walking in the countryside, or even maybe, you know, walking along a beach if you like walking along beaches. But it's lovely, you know, to see a lot of these animals. Well, not maybe particularly these particular ones, but sometimes you can just be walking in a field and you'll get rabbits running out in front. I've had that quite often. Or I might see a fox. That happens. My brother, where he works, he had seen a fox, and he works in a big like quarry type site, and he'd seen a fox, and this fox looked quite like it had got mange or something on the back of it. So he started bringing like chicken carcasses and things like that to work with him and leaving it near the foxhole, and the fox was coming and grabbing it and was getting like used to him bringing stuff like daily for it. And now this fox has improved in condition and looks really great. He said, you know, she's running around and everything now. So he's kind of rescued this fox, and I was so pleased when he said this, because that'd be me as well. You see, he's so like me in that way. He's also got like a crow friend that visits, and will even, if he stops his big machine that he uses and gets out of the cab, leaves the door open, leaves some bits inside the cab, the crow will gradually come up and actually come in to the cab and take the bits. And even if it finds a crisp packet, it's got its head in there in case there's anything in there. And it's getting quite used to him. But I'm digressing anyway, guys. You probably don't want to hear all this, but this is my choice of deck for animals of Letha. I mean, look how cute some of these are, especially these otters. And look, we've even got an ant, which shows you the strength of the ant, you know, this whole flower carrying it all on its own. So yes, so that is my animals at Letha deck. I know it's not entirely animals that you would see at Letha, but it is animals. So you know, number 5 is celebrations at Letha. So what deck reminds you of a Letha celebration? So the deck I've chosen for that is the Universal Celtic Tarot, and again this can be found on Amazon, and this reminds me of Letha, even though this is a maypole obviously, and that is going to be May, and that's not Letha, but it's still a celebration, isn't it? This card is still a celebration. So that's one of the reasons I chose this deck, for that lovely celebration card. Also for this, so this will be like a summer solstice card, which is Letha, and you know, it just reminds me of Stonehenge, or the standing stones in different places again that I like to go to at this time of year. So again, for me, it's about connecting with nature, connecting with deity, connecting with the ancestors of these places, of these sacred places, that when you're there it feels sacred. Like recently when we went to Wayland's Smithy in Oxfordshire, which is a Saxon long barrow, when you just didn't want to talk when you were walking along the barrow, because it just felt like no, you need to be quiet, you need to have respect in this place. But yeah, celebrations, you see, look, and you know, at the sacred stone sites at Letha, it is a celebration. It's a celebration of the sun, of welcoming the return of the sun for light and warmth, and you know, to keep us as we're used to living. I love this star card. I love all the blue around here, which we often see. Celtic people used to use it a lot to paint their faces and bodies, particularly if going into battle. I mean, here's another lovely kind of picture with nice, you know, ribbons hanging from this. We have a standing stone or a stone cross here, and a bird. But they're all kind of got these sparklies about them, like little twinkly things or little shining flowers that also remind me of just celebration time. And look at all these little fairies going around here, and him just sitting in the tree like that, like a perfect seat inside the tree. And here again, look at this, the world. Probably one of my favourite world cards, and look at that, the sunbeams coming through the leaves of the tree. And again, we have someone pregnant here in the wheel card. So again, Letha, and that's a celebration, isn't it? The birth of a child is a celebration, or the birth of anything, something that you birth, or the birth of an animal, anything. That is a celebration. It's a celebration of life. So yeah, so this is my choice for the celebration card. And look at this, how the antlers have like got flowers woven into them. Maybe this lovely stag is having a celebration maybe of the sun's return again here. And you know, the flowers, trees, and look, even like a dolphin. And Judgment card, they're reaching up, but it's still a lovely card. Ten of Cups, I really like that card too. Seeing again all the sparkly cups in the tree. I love the Emperor in this. It's like the horned god. I like the Fool too, with his foxglove flower hat. This one I love because again, Standing Stones. It's almost like in this, because in some stories they do say that Merlin brought Stonehenge by magic to the place where it is, and this is almost like him bringing Stonehenge here. I always think when I look at this card, I could be completely wrong, but that's what that just reminds me of, the bringing of Stonehenge. This is lovely too, the Empress card, look at that. Again we have pregnant lady in the Nine of Cups. So yeah, so this is my celebration deck, guys, and again we have like a wicker person here, which again is, well, reminds me of celebrations, as we can have the celebration of the wicker man or wicker person, and it's not like the film The Wicker Man. Wicker men now are filled with bread and maybe corn dollies and things like that, and then burnt. So our final question before we get to the bonus category is, let's get personal. Tell me what this time of year means to you in your life. Share the deck or decks that reflect this. And again, I know I'm kind of being a bit samey here, but you know, for me it's all about, it's about connections, being in nature, being able to get out more because it's summer, and I want to go to as many places as I can that are outdoors. I want to be outdoors and connecting with everything in nature, plants, trees, animals, birds. And for me, and again I don't have the box handy because I keep this one in the bag, is the Druidcraft Tarot. So this is my Druidcraft. I have trimmed and edged this one, edged it to match the back, so, and I have trimmed it. Might not be perfect and it might be a little bit worn this deck, but yeah, this for me is what Letha is for me personally in my life, is visiting the places that I love to visit in the summer, which are all connected really with nature and being outside. And you know, I mean, next month, August, I'll be visiting Glastonbury again, which is my favourite place on the planet. And I love it. I love Glastonbury. I love the feel of it. I don't know if I'll make it up the tour this year because, you know, I'm a bit heavier weight-wise than I was last year. I'm trying. I'm back at Slimming World, so I'm trying to move that weight. But because of that, I'm thinking how much I struggled to get up to the tour last time, so I don't know if I will this time. But you know, there's the Chalice Well Gardens as well, which are also lovely to walk around, or you can even actually, if you wanted to, sit and meditate in the Chalice Well Gardens. People do, and they do have, if you want to become a companion of the Chalice Well Trust, you can then book in to stay at one of their retreat houses, which I think is really cool. So yeah, this is my deck. I've had this a long time, the Druid Craft, and I love this deck. So this for me, with stones and Celtic, I mean, you know, my gods and goddesses are of the Celtic pantheon, and that's what I feel the closest to. And you know, I mean, look, you know, the Long Man, love that. Where's that other card? I love this card in particular, the Lovers. Absolutely love that. Can you imagine lying down like that, just naked? And this is not in a disgusting way, just actually laying in the woods or laying on bare grass, ferns, and it would just be so amazing. And I don't mean that in a let's have sex way either, even though we see that's what the couple are doing there. I just mean the connection with the earth. So that's why this deck for me is like a really personal deck. And we have Cernunnos, and again we have two naked figures laying there asleep in the grass. So yeah, so that is my deck choices for the questions. Now, the 7th bonus category was share the Oracle decks that sum up Letha for you. Now, for me, it's the Goddess Dream Oracle and the Mists of Avalon. So we'll just have a quick look through some of the cards in the Goddess Dream Oracle. Won't look through them all. These are the backs, which I love. I mean, and that just is summer, isn't it, in the back of a card. And look, we have abundance and bits of cat hair, and so these are lovely. Look at that, awareness. Love that card. There's lots of these cards that I like. Love that one. So this is a favourite deck. Hares, owls, reminds me of Rhiannon. So again, this is an oracle that sums up Letha for me, and is one that I would definitely use at this time of year. And again, look at that, and that, just so gorgeous. So that's one deck that I would use at this time of year, and the other one is the Mists of Avalon, which actually I would use at any time. But this one in particular, Letha, because it reminds me of going to Glastonbury, of course, my favourite place, the Isle of Avalon. Because I try to go every year. It just so happens as well that, and this is one of the decks that has Ariamrod in it, which is a goddess that I've worked with for a long time, although another one is coming in now, but Ariamrod has not gone. I still have her there. The Chalice Well. So this is like a Letha deck for me, because it's just Glastonbury, Avalon, all of those things that I love. And you know, it's happened that we've had the tarot meet up twice in Glastonbury, but even if we weren't having that, I would still try to go at least once a year, because I just love it, and I love this deck. Absolutely love this deck. So this is the Mists of Avalon. So yeah, guys, so that's the full questions. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. Thank you, Candy, for starting this hashtag, and I'm sure I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.